Hello, and now we're going to do our lesson on the lives of stars, and what we're going to look at is how a star is born and what determines its life. So the first thing we're going to do is just talk about that. Stars are not technically born, but they have to come from something. And so how is a star formed? Okay, let's write that down. How does a star form? Contracting gas and dust from a nebula becomes so dense and hot that nuclear fusion starts. Okay, so when we talked about nuclear fusion in the other lesson, when we talked about the sun, nuclear fusion is when you have one hydrogen and another hydrogen, and they fuse together, and all that fusion releases a tremendous amount of energy, and you have a new element called helium, and that's the fuel. And in this large cloud of gas and dust in that nebula, it becomes hot and so close together that pressure builds up, and you can have all those molecules slamming into each other. What's pulling it together is gravity pulls the dense part of the nebula together. So that's what's creating that force of all the molecules to come together. A protostar is a contracting cloud of gas and dust with enough mass to form a star. So it's be a lot of it together. That mass is the key thing. It's like a pre-star. Nuclear fusion begins with the protostar. So real nuclear fusion, where it's really using up that energy, is in that protostar, or the baby star. So what determines a star's lifespan? Let me pause. Let me see if you can answer that. Its mass. I hope that's what you said. Okay? And there's a difference between the two mass. There is small mass stars where they use up their fuel slowly. They live longer, about 200 billion years. So in this case, the small stars have that longer lifespan. But the largest stars, what's interesting is they use up their fuel quickly. They live shorter lives in only about 10 million years. There's a difference between the two for the lifespan. So what we're going to do in class is we'll look at the difference and we'll chart out a picture version. But this is where we're going to stop. Thank you so much. I hope your notes were easy.